Hey, we got a referral expert on the show. So if you're into business referrals, you might want to stick around. Coming up today, Brandon Barnum, live in the lab. He was supposed to be here a few months ago, but he got somewhere lost in the Arizona cross Canada border. But he's here today. Stick around. Hi, I'm Keith Bilous, and this is Live in the Lab. All right. A little bit of weirdness in front of the camera there for anybody who's watching. So I'm like, hey, where's the button? Where's the button? I can't get it going. How did you go viral on TikTok? You were on America's Got Talent. How much do you get paid to be on AGT? Oh, you didn't get paid. Keith and Steve here Live in the Lab.
You're a great interviewer. I love it.
48 miles, 48 hours. And not just once. You ain't seen nothing yet. I hit 50 last time, and I'm like, yeah, things are a little different than they were 10 years ago. So trust me, things are to keep. You have no time for the BS that much of society seems to put on the table. Why is that? What you're talking about is real right now. There's just no bullshit here, but it's just real. We brought you in with some Marley. I said, Joseph, let's talk music for a second. You said, Keith, oldies, 60s, 70s, and 80s. I've never talked to a sir before. Why are you a sir? In many ways, we're the same story. I came from nothing. You came from nothing. I think the old saying goes that if you want a trophy, you climb Everest. If you want respect, you climb K2. I've built an AI myself, and it's pretty fascinating when you can have a conversation with yourself with your own knowledge. Have you done that before? Why are we rushing to make these tools if all they're going to do is hurt humanity? Does the world need an Oppenheimer moment with AI?
What a fun show.
Oh! Can you hear the music? We're bringing in the king. Yeah, we're bringing in the king, all right. He's the king of referrals. Brandon Barnum. No, not Barnum and Bailey. What's at the circus? The Barnum Bailey Circus? I got to be honest. When I first saw the guy's name, I was like, oh, maybe wrong. Yeah, I can't hear you, Keith. The music is too loud. It is too loud. That's okay. It's Monday. It's time to go. It's May 6th. It's time to fucking go. It's true. Before you know it, it's May 13th. If you're here for accountability, you know it's time to go. All right. So Brandon Barnum, the king of referrals, coming up. So if you want to learn how to build a business on referrals, apparently there's lots going on. And if you look at the calendar, it's going to be May 13th before you know it, May 20th, and then it's June. Yeah, we talked about it this morning in the lab. Mornings in the lab with Keith and Nicole. Hey, Brandon, I got a morning show. I live on LinkedIn. I wake up every single morning with a purpose to entertain people. That's what I do. And I dance and shit on the air. And as John Kraske said, I don't know what I got myself into in this lab. And Brandon's, I don't know what I got myself into either. He's sitting all there comfortable in Arizona. What's with Arizona and my show? Everybody from Arizona happens to just end up in the lab. It's true. Go look at the guest book. They're all like, oh, we got to find Keith. And I got to wipe the joke out about the Jets because the Jets are gone off to the Utah now. Like 500 years later. So I can't even tease Brandon that he took my hockey team. There you have it. Anyways, oh man, I got energy today, even though I don't feel like I did have energy today, but I do have energy. And I know you want some of this juice that Uncle Keith's bringing to the table. I'll give you some juice. It's Mother's Day coming up. It's true. And yeah, I've prepared. Nope, not prepared. Not from my mom, but from my beautiful, lovely Lauren. But I'm on it. We talked about it this morning. Brandon, are you prepared? Are you prepared? Are you prepared, nation? If you're tuning in right now before Mother's Day, oh man, it's coming up on Sunday. On the lab this morning, we talked about 45 different gift ideas. One of the most popular gift ideas, Brandon Barnum, is, believe it or not, olive oil. Yeah, who knew? Who knew? Olive oil. Yeah, so if you're used to buying the fake shit or the $10 or $20 olive oil, you might want to go buy your mom a $50 or $100 bottle of olive oil and then tell her to use it discreetly. Yeah, she'll look at you and go, what? A $100 bottle of olive oil? It's true. There's your gift. I don't know. The whole family might enjoy it. Okay, so there's your gift idea this morning. The music's running out. Locking budget for a second song here this morning, so we're going to bring Brandon in. I know he's settled in. He's cozied in. I think he's understanding of what's about to happen. I know he's going to bring the energy. I know he is. He's just laughing away over there in the green room. Aren't you, Brandon Barnum? Aren't you, Brandon Barnum?
Oh, man, I'm cracking him. Keith, you're awesome, man. I love the vibe.
There you go. Welcome to Live in the Lab with Keith Bilous, Monday, May 6th. Brandon Barnum, the king. Whoa. Yeah, the king of referrals. Joining me all the way from Arizona. Finally, we were supposed to have this chat. Fuck, I think it was like 38 years ago, Brandon. Yeah, I think it was like 38 years ago, but we're finally here together. You got yourself across the border. I know. So listen, I know sometimes the internet doesn't work between Canada and the US, and I sometimes have technical challenges. So I'm glad that we got ourselves connected today. But you are joining us from Arizona, right? I am correct.
Yeah, man. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm proud from Phoenix.
Proud from Phoenix. So I joke about Phoenix, Arizona, because I have lots of family down there.
Nice.
At least I still think they're my family. I haven't talked to them in a while, but I love you, Annie Pat, Uncle John, cousin Jody, Albert, Tyler, Riley. So I've spent enough time down there in Phoenix and Glendale and Scottsdale and Goodyear and Mesa and Peoria. And shall I keep listing? I know the town.
You got it down, man. you like nailed the whole East Valley right there.
Where are you joining us from in Arizona?
Chandler, man. East
Oh,
side.
Chandler. Okay, yeah, awesome. So I got to ask you, were you a hockey fan while the Jets were there?
Coyotes, yeah, Coyotes are moving on. I went to a couple games, but a little bit of a hockey fan, love the basketball, and more of a football guy myself.
Okay, yeah. So you are a Cardinals fan, or
No,
are you?
Man.
Listen. I'm looking at your demographic,
Yeah.
and I'm thinking, nah, he's not a Cardinals fan.
No, I grew up in Portland, Oregon. So my dad lives in Seattle. That makes me a Seahawks fan.
There you go. There you go. There you go. So you supported the Cardinals because when the Seahawks came through town, very rarely you'd go watch them play.
Every year the Seahawks come to play, so I'm there.
Nice. That's awesome. What else keeps you busy so before we get into what really keeps you busy in Arizona, what also keeps you busy in Arizona? Because we know what really keeps you busy is the referral business and building your business and helping others and so forth. But what keeps you entertained?
I got an empty nest. Kids are grown and gone, so watching them. I'm actually flying down to Texas A&M to see my daughter graduate this week, so that'll be fun. But
that's fun.
Yeah, beach volleyball, that's my jam.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, man.
Where do you play?
Sand volleyball all over the place, as long as it's not too hot. Down here in Phoenix, it'll get up to 115, 120 degrees. So
yes.
Yeah, summer's a little.
Yeah, I would often, not often, but last couple of times I was visiting in August, and I say to myself, why am I going in August again? Why is that again? It's like you coming to visit me in January in Winnipeg when it's minus 45 degrees Celsius. And you're like, why was I coming up here again? But yeah, so I spent a lot of time indoors during that time when I was in August.
Always. Yeah, man. It's reverse living here in Phoenix, right? So
yes.
You're outdoors in the winter and you're indoors in the summer.
Yeah. So let's get into this big question. We'll put it up on the screen just so we all can be very clear on this question. Who's Brandon Barnum?
Big question. Yeah, man.
I was told never to allow my guests to introduce themselves. You can't let the guests introduce themselves because they're going to do a horrible job introducing themselves. I beg to differ. I'm asking you to take a moment to introduce yourself, and then if it's good enough, I'll let you go. If it's not good enough, I'll prop you up.
All right, man. Cool. Yeah. So my day job, I serve as CEO of HOA.com. Down here in the States, HOA stands for Homeowner Association, but we created this company as the Homeowner Alliance. And so that's really where I spend my time, is empowering people and really connecting communities, but helping people that work by referral do more business with each other.
That's it?
That's the focus. Yeah, man. We're creating community pages for every neighborhood in America. So it's a big platform. We're creating the next door meets Angie's List meets Zillow.
Yeah. So I looked at that when I looked into you coming on the show, and I believe we got to dig deeper than that. So you're underselling yourself when you say that it's Angie's List meets Zillow meets next door. It's much more than that. But I guess that's perhaps the best way to explain it. isn't it?
It's a challenging conversation because we really have three different client types. Ultimately, it's all about homeowners, but we monetize by professionals who serve homeowners. And then we also serve HOAs and the boards that run them. So we have three different client
Mhm.
avatars that we got to match in one sentence and statement.
So, Brandon, I want to stay here with you for a moment because I'm talking with a colleague, friend who's building his business, and he is serving right now two constituents, maybe even three.
Hmm.
And we're having a very similar conversation that I'm sure you have had with your team, with your board, or however your organization runs, which is who are we serving? We have three. But then myself as a business owner, or perhaps as a colleague, as a peer with you, I would say, but do you have one? Do you have three, Brandon? Or is it beneficial just to nail one before you look to three? And I understand the whole multi table leg approach to revenue and multi constituents, and I understand all that. I also understand the challenges when you have three different customers who you are trying to speak to.
Right.
Talk to our audience about the challenges you guys have with just that. It's trying to speak to three different audiences.
It's big. And anybody that's ever built a platform, this is my 10th technology platform over the last
Mm.
27 years. So been there, done that. But because we're doing B2C and B2B at the same time, direct to
Yeah.
consumers, homeowners in the US, 53% of all homeowners live in an HOA. And ultimately, if the homeowners isn't served by what we're doing, then the pros won't come to play either. So we do have to serve those two individual constituencies.
Yeah.
And because we acquired the domain HOA.com, everybody immediately thinks homeowner association. So we've really built a platform to support those HOAs and help everybody connect in their communities.
Smart. So what you're saying is that strategically, from a naming perspective, when you guys decided to stake your claim around HOA, the Homeowners Association,
Hmm.
or some would say the Homeowners Alliance, or however people want to interpret that, that gave you enough bandwidth, and it didn't make the message niche enough. It allowed you to have enough breadth to have a larger audience and conversation.
Huge. Yeah, man. We started this company as the homeowneralliance.com. And I'm
Oh,
sitting in a board meeting one day. Our initial mission was to connect homeowners to professionals they can trust. And
of
I'm
course.
sitting there
Yeah.
with my partner one day and I'm like, okay, this domain is too long to fit on the side of a bus. So if we could wave a magic wand and have any domain on the planet, what would it be? Homeowner Alliance. I went out, looked at HOA.com, reached out to the owner, made him an offer he couldn't refuse, and here we are today. And so once we acquired that domain, it changed the game because now every time I introduce myself as CEO of HOA.com, people instantly go, oh, you mean homeowner associations? And so that's why we built this platform to support them. But ultimately, it's about the homeowners.
This is the kind of nuggets of information that I really like to uncover in conversations with the guests that come across, because we're not planning to have this conversation, but you say something and I'm like, I just had a conversation with somebody who's having this exact problem. And now you say to me, here's something else that I want to throw at you, which you just said, which I think is brilliant as well. What did you pay for the domain?
I'm still paying for it. We have a 60-year lease to own. So we pay a monthly amount, six
Oh,
figures a year to operate the domain with the option to buy anytime.
oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
So
I
that's a,
treated it like a real estate deal, right?
of
In real
course.
estate, if you're like an investor, you can find some sellers where you're basically doing a lease to own deal, right? Where you're able to pay them
Yes.
cash flow, which is what the owner of the domain wanted. And then we have full control over it for the next 60 years or about 56 years now. And so it was a total win situation. We started lower, but now we're at six figures a year. So he wins, we win, everybody's happy.
Brandon, what a key nugget you're giving out there. I would guarantee you many don't think of that. They come across a domain, and listen, some would question perhaps the value of a domain in 2024. Do I need to have the best domain when with AI and so many audiences on other social platforms? But that's not for debate right now. The fact that you said we want this domain, three letters, it immediately identifies who we are, what we are, it stakes our claim. Somebody said, okay, if you want this, it's going to cost you. Brandon, we know there's a lot of people listening to this that have these ideas and have these businesses like, oh, if I can only get the domain. But then they go look it up on GoDaddy or somewhere and they're like, oh my God, it's like $1 million.
Right?
And then they're immediately deterred. They immediately are stuck with no solution. Well, I don't have $1 million to go get the domain. No, you don't. But if you have 60 years to build your business, maybe you can take $1 million divided by 60. And I'm just being fun and creative with you, but I love the way that you came at this.
It's creative finance. It's just like buying a
It
piece of
is.
real
It
estate. Again, it's
absolutely is.
digital
Yeah.
real estate is really what it is. And
Most don't think of it that way.
they don't, but it's what it is. Quite frankly, we're selling digital real estate because
You are.
in our platform, we license the individual HOAs to the different home service professionals. So we choose one realtor, one painter, one plumber for each HOA to be that top trusted professional. So we're using the same strategy to license and allow people to claim it and own it. And that way they're able to farm that market and be that top trusted pro for that agency or that community. So and I got to give credit where credit's due. My last company, I was the president, and the CEO went out and acquired the domain refer.com. And
Oh,
when we had that domain, it changed everything. It's that position of authority. And what's
yes.
interesting about HOA.com, I ask people all the time, what's the number one brand that you think of when it comes to homeowner associations? I only get two answers. Any guesses?
One of them's yours.
They don't think about that until after. But the number one answer, Keith, is I don't know.
Oh,
Right?
of
I
course.
ask them, what's the
Sure.
number one domain? And they go, I have no idea what's the number one brand. The number two answer we get is there isn't any. And that's exactly why we're building this brand, because we have the ability to become the authority in the space and really revolutionize the industry because most people don't love their HOA.
Yeah. So something else you said was fascinating to me. You said, I listen. You said that you have exclusive, you didn't use the word exclusive, but you have identified key partners on the
Yep,
platform. So you take a provider and they own that category.
that's right.
So that's interesting to me. Let's unravel that because some
Yeah,
would say, well, go ahead.
huge, and especially when it comes to referrals, right? Because not only are we marketing that pro and elevating their credibility and authority by appointing them as the certified pro in that neighborhood, that
Yes.
community, but
Yes.
also what we're doing, and this is brilliant for any marketers here, right? We talk about referrals. We're helping people formalize their referral partnerships. And so what happens is somebody joins our referral network, they claim a neighborhood, and then they invite their top trusted professionals to join them as their trusted team, is what we call it. And then literally our pros invite others because it's just good business for them. And of course, you're getting it, man. It fills our
I'm
funnel,
not
right?
laughing
Because
at you. I'm laughing because it's so fucking brilliant and simple. It's like I'm with Shake and Shannon Houchin. I got to bring my peach lady up. So Shannon Houchin one day wakes up. She's, oh, I'm going to go I'm going to go take a peach side. I'm going to go take a roadside business called Peaches. And I'm going to go and take something really simple and obsess over the detail and obsess over hyper local marketing, builds a
mm,
wonderfully successful business with probably some of the same principles you're talking about. So when somebody is identified, and I'm paying attention for even my own business right now because some of these things even crossing my head. So when somebody is your preferred, what maybe plumber or electrician, right?
painter, plumber, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we got 50 different categories of pros in
Yeah.
each local neighborhood.
Do they pay to be the preferred?
They do. They pay an annual fee or to become a member of our referral network. It's just $357 a year. And right now we're giving them their first community free, but we license each individual neighborhood or community. And the price varies depending on the number of homeowners, the average household value, and the average household income.
So I'm in Chandler, Arizona, and I'm Keith the plumber. And I'm like, and now, do you identify me or do I raise my hand to say I'd like to be the lead plumber? How do I become the lead plumber?
Both. So we target people that are five-star rated companies, right? If they're a company that has proven that they're top quality and providing great service and highly regarded and respected, then we'll reach out to them. But most of our people are nominated or invited by other pros. And so people are activating their referral network. That's really what we teach them how to do, is to certify and to invite their top trusted pros to be a part of the network so that they're working together, because most pros are like a lone wolf or the lone ranger, and they're trying to build their business themselves. And they don't have anybody sending them referrals on a regular basis.
I'm just taking this in because
We teach them the referral partner blueprint, right? So we
Yeah.
literally teach them how to partner with all of the other professionals who serve homeowners each and every day, right? It's all about the homeowner in the center. And whether you're listening right now and you serve homeowners or you serve business owners, because it's usually one of the two, right? You focus on who are the other pros that are serving your perfect prospects every single day, and how do you add as much value to them as possible. What we do is we give them a list, right? We say, okay, here's all of the pros that you need to be inviting and have on your team. And I was just meeting with the CEO of Remax in Las Vegas a couple of weeks ago. And as I was talking to him, I said, here's the reality. Most realtors give out a ton of referrals and they don't get many back
Yeah.
because they don't have a system and they
Yes.
don't have partners that are actually proactively promoting them. So what we did is we created a home safe report. And so the pros that join our network, they upload their homeowner database and then they send out our home safe report that gives all the homeowners a monthly valuation. Hey, your house is worth more or worth less than it was last month. And it's got a list of all of the top trusted pros for that neighborhood. Also has local events, what's happening there in Winnipeg, for example, right in your local community. You said hyper social or hyper local, and that's what we teach, right? Realtors farm communities. They follow up and they reach out to those homeowners on a regular basis. We help them do that with their team of professionals so that everybody wins more business together.
So when you say team, so again, back to Keith the plumber, you're teaching me to really service my other, like the electricians, the realtors, everybody within
Yes,
my network. That's who you're teaching me really to engage with
absolutely.
instead of necessarily my cut. The traditional thinking is I got to go find more Brandons to come and be a plumber for him as the customer. But you're saying, no, Keith, actually, you need to go and network with everybody that could potentially service Brandon. So now you have 30 different lead operators out there that
That's
are
right.
talking on your behalf. Am I hearing you correctly?
Absolutely, 100%. Because those 30 guys are out there talking to homeowners every single day. They're out there, the painter, the plumber, the electrician, the general contractor. They're serving homeowners and they're having conversations. And in those conversations, they're like, man, I need a plumber. Oh, perfect. Let me introduce you to Keith.
So this is happening all of the time. But what you guys have done with HOAs, you've formalized it, haven't you?
That's it. Absolutely. Not
So
only have we formalized it, but we're
you've monetized,
automating it because
and
the biggest issue is that
yes,
people connect. Like BNI is a great organization for networking. A lot of people go to BNI groups or chambers of commerce and they
yes.
go and they meet other people. What's the challenge is in between those weekly meetings, there's no proactive promotion of their partners. What our system does is once you set it, you can forget it. You build your profile, you claim your communities, you invite your trusted team, and then you upload your homeowner database. Once you've done those four things, everything's on autopilot. Now, an email goes out to every homeowner in your database, and it not only promoting you, keeping you top of mind and fixing your follow up failure, it's also promoting your trusted team to the homeowners you serve. And the beauty of that is, let's say you've got 10 partners, each of those 10 partners is promoting you to all of the homeowners that they serve. And it's totally automated, easy, done, affordable. It's just awesome.
It's yes. And where's the monetization along the way? So Keith the plumber
Yep.
is in the network,
You're asking
and
about monetization for us. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yes. So where's
Yeah.
the monetization for HOA? And
Sure.
then where's the monetization for Keith the plumber? I guess I'm getting, so I want you to wear two hats. So
Yeah.
Brandon's the electrician and Brandon refers Keith to Joe.
Okay. So hold on. You want me
Yeah,
to wear two hats? Let's start with my CEO hat.
you're good,
All
man.
right.
This is great.
Okay.
This is really awesome right now.
As the CEO, I built a system and a platform that allows people to invite their other pros. So let's say I'm a dentist. Okay.
You've done this before.
Personality based. I did this at a live event and I'm like, I got to keep these. These are fun. Why not?
Yes,
I don't have this fit
absolutely.
hat like you do, man. That's awesome. Right? But the reality is, so if I'm a dentist, for example, I want to target all of the neighborhoods around my dental practice. Okay.
Yes,
I spoke at a
yes,
dental conference. This is why
yes.
I'm wearing this
Perfect.
hat. It's
Okay.
one of my books, right? Raving referrals. We can talk general raving referrals, or we can talk dentists, or we can talk mortgage pros, whatever industry they're in. But if I'm a dentist, I want to target all of those homeowners that live right around my practice. Who's helping those people move in to those homes? Realtors. And what's amazing to me is that most dentists don't ever think about this. They think about patients, but they don't think about the people that serve the patients that they want to connect with. So, what we do is we teach those realtors to partner with the dentist, the plumber, the painter, all of the other pros who are serving homeowners every day. And then we have them bring them on to HOA.com, right? Because we become the solution. Now, for them, it's their all star team. They're like, hey, Keith is a stud. Keith is going to take care of you. And because it's a referral, if I refer somebody to Keith, I know Keith is going to take good care of you because Keith wants to keep getting my business coming to him on a regular basis.
Of course. Yeah.
Right?
Because, yes.
Yeah. So now you've got a team of people that are all working together, building their business together. And what we found is that people that have 10 or more referral partnerships on average are earning over $250,000 a year. So we help everybody get into that 250,000 club.
It's interesting because when you say, it's amazing to me that nobody thinks, when you commented on that, when dentists don't think of, or realtors don't think of who their customers are, it's because because what you do, you take it for granted. But when I hear you speak about it, I'm like, duh, that's
Duh.
so obvious to me.
And that's usually the response, Keith. As soon as we help people see this, like we have blind spots in our business. As entrepreneurs,
Yes.
there's blind
Yes.
spots that we don't see. That's why we hire business coaches to come in and go, hey, what do you see that I'm not seeing? As
Yes.
soon as we have this conversation about what we call building your trusted team, people feel like, duh, how have I not been doing this? For me, I learned this 27 years ago. I was a single dad. Let's talk about the origin story, right? For me, I got custody of my son when he was 2 years old. I was 24 years old at the time. I was making 20 grand a year. And as soon as I had full custody of my son, I couldn't pay for my mortgage and daycare. And I started bouncing my mortgage checks. I'm like, okay, I got to make a change. I ended up getting in the mortgage business. And that's where I learned all about referral partnerships. And within 18 months, I had 10x my income from $20,000 to $200,000 a year. And ever since then, I've been on a mission to help other people do the same.
Whoa. So what do you think of, so you've mentioned BNI, you've mentioned business networking groups.
Yep.
How come, why does this seem so obvious and so earth shattering to me? Why aren't more associations or organizations doing the same thing you're doing?
I think some teach it, but it's a great question, man. Like I've got a marketing degree. They didn't teach networking in business school. They didn't teach me how to really build my business at all. They taught me these theories, but no real practical strategies that I could use in the real world. Right now, I'm a huge fan of BNI. I've interviewed Ivan Meisner. I think he's awesome. And it's a great concept because what it does is it helps you create those formalized referral partnerships. We started this company as the Homeowner Alliance. We were on a mission to create the BNI power team, if you will, of professionals who serve homeowners. Because there's no other referral network exclusively of pros who serve homeowners. So that's what we built.
Huh. How have you used social media? How have you used LinkedIn? I guess I'll lean on LinkedIn because it's generally humans with wallets, and Instagram is more of a shopping mall. YouTube's TV, X is it's just good old chit chatter on the internet. LinkedIn, human beings, wallets, very targeted audience marketing, and so forth. How have you used LinkedIn as part of your marketing efforts to grow HOA? Because I ask you, Brandon, because it would seem natural to me for it to be a key part of your networking efforts. Am I wrong?
Yeah, it is. It is in the white collar, what we call the firm. So we say every referral network starts with a firm foundation. Now, firm is an acronym, means financial advisor, insurance agent, realtor, and mortgage lender. Those four are the white collar professionals who serve homeowners. Everybody else, for the most part, except for attorneys and accountants, right? Everybody else is blue collar and they're out there in homes all the time. The blue collar guys aren't on LinkedIn, but the white
No.
collar are. So we use LinkedIn to target the firm, the realtors, the mortgage lenders, insurance agents, and financial advisors, and more importantly, the executives that run those companies.
What's the other group of constituents called?
We don't have a fun little name for them. Now that you asked that, I'm going to have to solve that. We just
Yeah,
call them
because if
the
I'm a
blue
blue collar dude, I'm like, hey man, I want an acronym too.
Yeah, I'll have to think of that, man. I don't have one off the cuff like we do
I
for
have an idea for you. I have
Okay,
one for you.
what you got? Shoot.
You can call them Keith,
Okay.
because you'll never forget it. And,
There you
and
go.
forever now, you're going to go, all right, guys, this group here is called Keith. And they're like, why is Keith? I don't know why, but I was on a show with some dude. He entertained me. He made me laugh. I can't stop thinking about him. By the way, he's got a morning show and he goes every single day with awesome human beings. But I think we got to call the group Keith because they're blue collar. They work their ass off. My parents are blue collar. I'm just a blue collar dude who ended up in a white collar space. So there you go. I've given you many reasons to call the group
Keith, I love it. I'll never forget Keith. What's funny is we tell the story all the time of Chuck in the truck and Stan in the van. We say Chuck in a truck is stuck because he's selling his time for money. He's a single one-man
Yeah.
shop, right? Stan in a van met a man with a plan who helped him build a team to build his dream. And that's what we teach, right? Is we want to help Stan in the van create that plan, and our tech does it automatically.
Stand in the van. Brad, you're a serial entrepreneur, startup guy, tech guy, platform guy. Talk about now. You alluded to the fact that you were a single dad, custody of your kid in your 20s.
Yep.
You've then worked your way to where you are now as a 30-year-old young man. So in the last 12 years, as you've aged and you stopped time and so forth, talk about the other companies that you've built and what you've learned along the way, which positioned you to clearly have success with what you're building right now. Talk to our entrepreneurs right now who are listening, going, okay, I see what he's learned and I see what he's taking those learnings and moving forward. As much, Brandon, what you learned personally, because a lot of guys and women that have gone through perhaps what you've gone through, and that's a learning situation in itself right there.
I didn't learn a lot in business school, to tell you the truth, but there was one thing that I learned from a business professor in entrepreneurship class, which was my favorite class of all college. And he said, you got to look at the world with new eyes. You got to see where things are going, where the problems are, and then solve those problems in advance. So when I got into the mortgage business, at that point in 1997, only half of the real estate companies were online. I'm like, okay, this thing called the internet is the future. There's no doubt about it. And at that point, you couldn't really sit at home in your underwear and search for homes. So I built like an early version of Zillow. I lived in Portland, Oregon at the time. We called it pdxhome.com. It was the Portland Online Home Buyer Guide. And I built a website where we had 8 to 10 photos of listings. Now, I'm the mortgage dude, right? So what I did is I reached out to realtors that had listings. And Keith, here's a tip for you. I focused on listings on busy streets. The reason that I did that was on the bottom of their for sale sign, I would feature the property on the Portland Online Home Buyer Guide, and I would create an online property profile, just like you see now on Zillow or we have on HOA.com. On the bottom of their for sale sign, they would tag on a little rider sign that said, view this home at pdxhome.com. So now I'm attracting the traffic, but what I started with a give to the realtors that I was reaching out to. Now, the reason that I chose busy streets is that I knew that there was going to be a lot of visibility, a lot of people that were driving by that sign, seeing pdxhome.com. And I also knew if it was on a busy street, that house wasn't going to sell very fast. And that meant my ad was going to stay there on high visibility for a long time. So that's how I started. Is I gave a ton of value. I started calling realtors and I said, hey, I'd like to feature your home on the Portland Online Home Buyer Guide. And 6 out of 10 would say yes. I'd feature their property and then I'd start winning all their business. And that's how I 10x my business.
I chased you for a reason, Brandon Barnum, because you're just giving gold nuggets left and right here. Like this whole 38 minutes, I should not have had a 7-minute monologue.
There you go. There you go. I got some gold for you right here.
You've got multiple hats with different things you wear. You got nuggets. You're finishing my sentences. Are we co-hosting a show together? The Keith
I'm trying, man.
because what's happening here, man, I get a sense of we can have some fun here. I'm like, dude, this guy's just, I can be the foil. You could just set shit up and I'll just laugh.
I dig it, man. Check this out, Keith. I just dug this out of the archives. This is my mom. My mom
Oh,
was a realtor in Remax 30 years ago. And so when I
yeah.
was meeting with the CEO of Remax a couple
Yeah.
weeks
You
ago
showed
in
him the
Vegas,
card.
I
Yeah.
brought in the card. I'm like, this is from 1994, it looks like. Yep. 30 years ago, my mom was a realtor for Remax. And now we're talking about rolling out HOA.com throughout the entire Remax agency, 144,000 agents.
Oh man. Speaking of mothers, where's my angle? Speaking of mothers, mom, I'm on a show right now. So you're hearing the dinging in the background. They're texting me. So apologize, mom, but I got to put you on mute because they're all setting up stuff for Mother's Day. So should I just leave the conversation? There you go. I'm going to go boom. Left the conversation. See y'all. There you go, family. Sorry. I'm busy right now. Anyways, back to Brandon Barnum. I thought the card said Sharon Stone at first. It's like, why are you showing me Sharon Stone? But I'm old, right? So my eyes sometimes, no, Dr. Labby did not sleep in my contact last night. Had a guy on my show, Brandon, a couple weeks back. Dr. Labby, he's a sports vision ophthalmologist. So he works with goalies and pitchers and athletes who need raise their vision eyes. The night before, I happened to accidentally sleep in my contacts. So I was bitching about having gravel eyes that morning. And he's, Keith, you can't sleep in your contacts. I'm like, I know. So anyway, so where was I? We're talking networking and we're talking gold nuggets. And you had another one that you had offered up about the realtors and about giving stuff away for free. I know that. So I spent a lot of time socially on the social platforms and building a big presence on LinkedIn. And I have gotten into this awesome habit of just giving love away for everybody. And what comes back in return is exceptional. People have a hard time wrapping their heads around giving, don't they?
It's huge, man. And in it, quite frankly, when I lived in Oregon, my license plate said give more because I just wanted to push that message out because the more you give, the more you receive. It's one of the 7 laws of raving referrals is the more you give, the more you receive. And that's the way that it works. So in my experience, there's some people that are others focused and there's a lot of people that are self-focused. You want to find those people that are really focused on other people because those are the people that create amazing service.
But I think so. Let's zone on this because you said there's 2 people, one who's selfless and maybe one who's selfish. I'll just summarize it.
There you go.
The irony is the selfish person that wants to make lots of cash, like lots and lots of cash. I love making lots of cash. I love it. I just love that feeling. The irony in that whole thing is that the more selfless you are, you're probably going to make more cash. Am I wrong?
Oh, not only probably, like it's been proven. I was meeting with a professor at Ole Miss not too long ago. I was speaking at an event in Vegas, and I was talking to this professor at Ole Miss, and he said it's actually been proven and providing the data behind it. He said what happens is the people that are more relational, that are more selfless, to use your word, in the long run, those people win. Sometimes the selfish people are more transactional than relational. They win in the short term, but in the long term, the people that add more value to the world are the ones that other people refer.
It's interesting because I was just having this conversation this weekend around selflessness and transactions and relationships and outracing churn in a transactional situation, right? So if you're onboarding, it's like, okay, if I'm onboarding 100 customers a month, but I'm losing 3 because I'm really focused on transactions right now, I don't care. And that's a balance for companies too, right? Because it's, do you want to go hockey stick in transaction and then focus on relationships? That is a risk you can run, or you got to find a balance there and build that relationship and keep that customer for a long time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. So for me, I'm all about referrals. I don't want to lead, I want a referral, and that takes relationship. All referrals come through trust. So somebody's got to trust you and they got to know that you're going to care about and make a difference for the person that they're referring to you because that person's got a challenge or problem that you can solve and they're referring you as the solution but only if they trust you. And I get amazing referrals. I was referred to the CEO of Remax. I had somebody that had reached out, scheduled the appointment, set me up. I didn't have to do any work at all other than show up. And that's because of the trust that I had built by focusing on others and serving first.
Okay, so all right, it's 44 minutes in. I guess I'll get to it. I was holding this off. I'm thinking, okay, I'll talk to Brandon off the stream about this, off the air, as they'd say back in the olden days. But I'm just going to bring it up right now.
All right.
So I have amassed this incredible referral business by the show.
I'll bet.
It's become actually quite ridiculous, to be honest with you. Between my morning show and now my lunchtime show, like this 1 o'clock one that I do every single day, and I love it, but I meet a new human every single day. So you're a networking guy, you're a referral guy. You can start doing the math. Like the people and humans that I'm meeting everywhere. And I'm starting to ask myself questions just purely around monetizing of that itself. Like I'm meeting exceptional humans that want to meet some of the other exceptional humans that I'm spending time with. And I'm thinking, hey, what's in it for me? And I'm not saying that in a selfish way, but I'm like, wow, because there's a business opportunity unfolding in front of my eyes right now that I'm really not paying attention to because I just want to connect with great humans, but it's clear that there's something happening.
Yeah, man. So what we teach is to offer referral rewards and we do this ourselves, right? So we have an affiliate program. We call it referral rewards, but people that come into our system, they refer others. And then we like to pay them cash, right? Because they need to know about HOA.com. So we give them their own affiliate ID, right? We bring them in and then we do rev share. So somebody like you says, wow, this is amazing. Everybody should know about HOA.com. And I know you're not one of our ambassadors yet. We'd love you to sign up, HOA.com/win. Come on. It's free and you can be one of our referral partners. And then we just pay mailbox money, a portion of the revenue that comes as a result of the referrals that you make. Now, for you, if you aren't necessarily selling products and services, however, you can partner with some of those people and they may either have their own affiliate program or you create an agreement with them that if you make introductions to them that lead to revenue, that they'll share a portion of that with you.
All right. So here's something for you. How about Brandon Barnum, Live in the Lab with Keith Bilous, becomes the official show of HOA?
Okay. I don't know what that means, but it sounds pretty interesting.
Either. But what it means is that, so let's play with me. You're a smart marketing dude, super brilliant marketing guy. And I love just talking to smarter people than I do. So here's what I'm thinking. Everybody in your association, the plumbers, the electricians, they're out and about. They need to be entertained. They need to be informed. They want to hear interesting conversation. They want to hear interesting human beings. Well, you got one. They can take me to bed. I got a daily show. I can become like the trusted entertainer of HOA.
Oh, okay. Okay. Talk about that, Keith. I see where you're going.
So I do shows 5 days a week, mornings and afternoons. I'm always talking to people, always connecting people. Right? I could be. Oh yeah. So you need an electrician over there in Portland? I know a guy named Joe. Joe's awesome. Joe's the guy you got to get. See what I'm getting at? Oh, yeah. I just met the guy in there. I met the guy in Florida last week. He's looking for an electrician because he's working on his house. I know an electrician in Florida. Like I'm the official voice of HOA.
I love it, man.
And I'm 24/7 and I'm everywhere. And I can be like the connective audio, video, visual for HOA.
I love it. All right. Let's talk.
$347. Is that what you said it costs to be your official pillar of something?
You can be our ambassador at no cost, but yeah, if you want to be a certified pro, it's $357 a year, less than $1 a day.
Okay, there you go. And that's for one category, right?
Yep.
And how many categories do you have?
Total in the database, there's about 200, but we show, I think, 36 on the community pages and the Home Safe Report. So we've got the top 36, and then if somebody invites someone that's in one of those categories that's not there, then those people populate, even if they're not one of the top 36.
Gotcha. Yeah, because I wouldn't want to pay 357 times 200. I wouldn't want to be, but I'd pay 357 once so I can, because all Uncle Keith here is funding the business by himself here, Mr. Brandon. So we just got to dig into, he's eventually going to say, Keith, you can't fund the 200 different groups for Brandon Barnum, but in a really unique way, I'm telling you, in a unique way, I'm looking to build my listeners one by one. And every single person in your HOA is a potential listener and community member of mine. So I'm looking for new ways to get in front of folks. So I'm 1,000,000% serious what I'm talking about right now.
Okay. You know what? Here's the thing is we don't want to be content creators, Keith. We want to be content curators. Right now, what we're working on, and this is a Q3 project, not Q2, but in our community pages, we're going to integrate content from creators like you because that's what's made Facebook and Instagram and even LinkedIn so valuable. You're creating content for them. They don't have to pay you. You're glad to do it because you're playing in the world that they've created. You're adding value to them and receiving value at the same time. That's what we're doing too.
Brandon, I want to be respectful of your time, and I do want to chat with you for a few minutes when the recording goes off. I did not expect this conversation to go here at all today. You have been, dude, you have offered up 48. You might have been, I'm going to just say this to Nation right now. I talk about favorite guests. No, I'm not giving you my favorite guest. Nope, not that man. But I'm going to give you, you might have been the most informative gold nugget filled guest I've ever had on the show. You have offered up it's even better than greatest guest, Brandon, because the value you have offered for 49 minutes, or I talked for 7. So, you have offered 40 some odd minutes of just nonstop. Like, dude, I just got to let this thing run and hey, entrepreneur, go listen to that. And you're going to learn lots of shit from this guy because he will make you money. You want to go meet, don't even go to Harvard. Go meet Brandon Barnum. Nope. Get rid of Harvard. Don't even chat GPT. Go talk to Brandon Barnum.
Oh, you're stuff, man. I appreciate that. It's all about adding value to others. That's why Give More was my license plate. My mission is to inspire, empower, and impact every person on the planet.
No shit. It's quite clear. It's quite evident that is your. So let's back to my question. What's your hard stop? Do you got to be out of here in 10 minutes, or do you have a few minutes for me?
Yeah, I do. I have an 11 o'clock my time.
All right. So listen, we're going to wrap it up then. So I want to make sure that Nation knows about everything they need to know about you and about what we talked about. You got some books. If there's anything I didn't ask you, I want to give you a minute here to plug it and make sure it gets on screen and gets them recorded to get to know how they can find you. And I'm going to put this up on screen right now. So go for it.
Yeah, best place to find me is brandonbarnum.com. If you go there, you'll find links to a whole bunch of stuff. We have a referral score quiz, totally free. It's 10 questions. You're going to rate yourself on the best practices when it comes to referral. I guarantee you've got a couple blind spots that you're not even thinking about, and you're going to know it within 1 to 2 minutes. So take a check out the referral score quiz. Also, bank code, you're going to understand how to close more sales in less time by customizing your conversations to the personalities of your prospects. You increase their listing conversions by an average of 123%, just customizing their conversation. So check out brandonbarnum.com. There's a lot of free tools for you, a lot of great stuff there.
Awesome. Thank you, Brandon. That is spectacular. You have been, I hope you'll come back because I feel like we've got more to talk about. I want to hear more about Brandon personally. I would love to dig into, to be honest with you, I'd love to dig into 20-year-old Brandon, single dad, waking up in the morning going, holy shit, this isn't working. I got to make changes. Honestly,
Keith, the coolest part about the whole story is that 2-year-old son that I got custody of back in 1994 works for me full time. So I literally start my morning every single day with my kid on Zoom as part of our team. And he's awesome. He's amazing. I've got 3 kids now. My youngest just turned 21 yesterday. She's graduating from Texas A&M. So,
oh, man.
It's just amazing. I am blessed beyond belief and happy to be here, Keith. You were so entertaining, brother. This has been a pleasure.
Well, thank you so much. It's very kind of you. Very kind of you. I'd love to have you back with myself and Di Manuel. We have a show on Fridays called 2 Dads in a Lab, trying to be 2% better. Because I know I'm a dad of a blended family, and I try every single day to be better. And some days I'm not very good at it, but I try. And I'm sure you have had some of those same situations, especially now that you have older children, right? So love to have you on a Friday with myself and Di. But I'd love to have you back, Brandon, and talk some more. But I want to get you off the air. So I'm going to say goodbye to Nation. I'm going to put you back in the green room for a quick second. And I'm going to say goodbye to Nation and come walk you out, okay?
We'll see you. Thanks, guys.
Awesome. Hang tight. We're going to put Brandon right there. We're going to put this on. Yeah, because we got to get some music. I know. Nah, we'll put this one on there. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, it's the King's music. All right. So if you're tuning in at the end, you got to go back to the beginning because I had a good monologue. That's the whole reason why, frankly. All truth aside, all bullshit aside, all truth in front of you. What a show today. 40 some odd minutes of just nonstop nuggets. Brandon Barnum is just offering gold. I would encourage you to go back, go check out the transcript, go take some notes, and go take the things he's talking about and add it to your business. I know I'm going to. That's why I want to go talk to the guy. I'm getting out of here. We'll see you guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Mornings in the lab. See Marty Fit. He's joining us in the lab tomorrow morning. And that's going to be a good one. I'll tell you that. All right. I'm getting out of here. We'll see you guys. Ciao.